And we're live.
You know what the coolest part about the gladiatorial games back with the Romans was, in my opinion? It was that occasionally, like, the emperor would, like, get bored or whatnot, and he'd be like, hey, all those people in section 7D, throw them in.
Like, Are you and sure that happened?
Like, yeah. They just throw a bunch of people from the crowd in. Have the lions at them.
First 3 rows
of that before.
Yellow, but I'm not sure which one. What?
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
I didn't know. That seems like it would be horrible for ticket sales.
Right? It seems like...
Because those were probably the seats closest to the action, right? Those were expensive seats. These weren't the cheap seats. So
they're like fat rich people. They just throw them to the lions.
They did murder Caligula like 4 or 5 years into his reign. You know, he was a madman of like 25 years old, ruling the entire world and naming his horse consul and building like bridges over rivers and stuff.
Did he have syphilis?
I don't know anything about that. I don't think he had syphilis, to my knowledge. But I'm not a fucking historian. I just watched a documentary about Caligula yesterday.
I'm trying to find something about them doing fucked up stuff in the Colosseums.
They pour molten lead down people's throats and crucified.
Have you guys been to the Colosseum?
No, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah, I've been there. It's neat, man. Like I, there's something about being a place where shit went down that captures my imagination. And you stand there and you're like, that's where the pits were, and that's where the crowds went. Blood crazy, like bloodthirsty, bloodlust up there while people died. You can walk around like where the fights were and stuff. And
they would fill.
It's so
I
crazy.
Found it really interesting that they would fill it with water and have those naval battles in there. They would flood it and have the naval battles in there with the ships and stuff.
That sounds like a PKA stat.
You're free to check these.
This is actually true.
They would. I don't know, because you guys make up shit all the time to try to get me to look like an asshole. This is like a regular part of PKA. Forgive me for checking facts every once in a while. You guys are saboteurs.
Well, the emperor was tired because his mistress was a quiet talker. And so that's obviously a Seinfeld thing. But yeah, they did exactly what Kyle's saying, where they'd wall up the sides. They would flood the entire Coliseum, and they'd have mini naval battles. Like, that's the level of insanity that they were doing here. And just like looking at it, like it's so old. What year? Here, tell me what you think. What year do you think the
Coliseum was built?
Like, when did they start doing shit there?
700? I don't fucking know. 300?
Go 250.
80.
The
year 80. Can you imagine, like I know that they didn't actually say 80 back then. Like, what year is it? It's 80. Like, but if that's what they did do, it would be kind of depressing, because it would be like, what year is it? It's 81. It's like, man, like we're gonna miss a lot of shit, aren't we? Like, I assume everything good starts at, I don't know, like 1200. I have no idea, dude. It's fucking year 80.
Looking at it wrong.
I can't even read.
They'd be like, what happens at 100? And I don't know, it probably resets.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the next number is. They don't even know what the next number is after 100.
Yeah, they'd have to ask their master or lord or whatever. Or no, they could. The average Roman citizen could not read, right? Like, they were really literate for the time, but they still were like pretty shit, right?
I have no idea.
Imagine. I don't know. Yeah, I still think about my time in the Coliseum. There's a underground part where like people would sort of stage before they went up, and I just picture, like, imagine knowing you're about to fight for your life.
Yeah, they could have read, because there was a graffiti. Yeah, there's graffiti on the Coliseum. I remember that now. So yeah, they could read and write.
At least the ones who could afford Coliseum tickets.
Yeah, and one of the interesting things I remember learning about the Coliseum is there's I guess there's like names of gladiators, and they're like their records written down, and there's some of these guys that were like crazy champions, and like, you know, we fawn over like Conor McGregor, like, oh, he's the greatest ever, but like, go back to the year 80, right? Like, maybe there was a fucking He-Man woman-hating badass motherfucker they got out of Northern Africa and captured because he was the baddest king of his tribe, and like, he just slaughtered men for 25 years in the ring, you know, like
then, is it possible to have like a huge technique advantage? Right? Because now, like, we live in an era of information sharing, and
I think only at like a higher class rating, right? Like I feel like you've got to be like so you'd have to like you'd have to have someone to teach you, and you'd have to have the spare time to learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to be a rich guy or a rich guy's son. That's why when I hear about
or a rich guy investing in you.
Yeah, if you were like a professional gladiator and you were owned, then I guess that would be the scenario in which that would actually happen. Yeah, and there was I want to say Caligula fought in the maybe he's not the one. There was definitely a Roman emperor who suited up and went and fought in the ring to the death.
Is that Claudius? Maybe.
Yes,
I feel like I could be that guy. Like, why does Woody only fight midgets? Ah, shut up! Don't criticize the great one.
He went and fought a badass.
Dude, look at this. Like, I just linked you to something. The highest paid athlete of all time, like prorated, like measured out. It's this Roman charioteer named Diocles, and I'm going to read this paragraph about him. Or Gaius Appius Diocles. It's a badass name. Diocles was a charioteer and the most prolific of his day. Starting his career at the age of 18, he raced for over 24 years, an extremely uncommon length of time because of the inherent dangers of chariot racing. It was 7 laps of anything goes racing around the track, with each driver also armed with a curved sword in case his opponent got too close. For his career, Diocles took part in 4,257 races, winning 1,462 of them.
Wow.
And he also got second place or third place in another 1,438 races. Nearly every one of his races was in the 4-horse chariot, and he frequently beat the best of the best. His patented move was a strong dash to the finish, as he won nearly 1/3 of his races by coming from behind on the last stretch. After retiring, a monument was erected to him in Rome by his fellow racers. It's why we know the specific numbers about his life. He retired at the age of 42, 7 months, 23 days, and earned 35,863,120 sesterces in prizes, which comes out to around 15 billion in today's dollars. In addition, he was most likely illiterate.
Helping further the stereotypes that athletes are just stupid jocks.
Yeah. He was like a real Floyd Mayweather. Like back in the day.
He was the Floyd.
Except back then it was
but
like, can you read?
Billion. He was like a Floyd Buffett.
Yeah, he was like 20 Tiger Woods or
Floyd
something.
Gates. You know, like that's
pretty
crazy.
fucking impressive, right? Like
any race where you have a sword just in case, I think you'd be a little on edge. And doing 4,000 of those, like what is this the percentage of you're surviving that? Like how?
His patented move was a strong dash to the finish. I feel like that's not a secret. Like, aha, my big move is I go faster at the end. Like, there had to be some other clue. Or like
maybe what he did is like hang back a bit and like harass with swords and stuff. And then like at the end, maybe if you're in behind at the end and you can like really get going fast. Actually, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like being like, yeah, the secret to basketball is just getting that perfect shot. And it's like, what? Like, that's not helpful. Like,
it's not even a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. The secret to the chariot racing is to go really fast at the end. Yeah. Well, shucks.
You consider going fast the whole time.
But after 1,400 of those, people would start catching on. I don't know.
Not if you were in first, second, or third place for almost 3,000 of them.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty insane.